like horses? Do you like the Kentucky Derby? I am telling you, I have to really be careful. I love horses so much, and I love the Kentucky Derby so much, and I love betting online horse races so much. I have to really be careful, you guys. I think I could have I think I could have OCD, obsessive compulsive, OCB, obsessive compulsive behavior. Is it OCB? I could have that so easy, and I do believe that as a young adult I did have it, but it never interfered with my life. It just added to the excitement of my life. But I realize as an adult, I call it passion. I enjoy so many things, such a variety of things, that I really get in. I really get involved and get into a lot of things. But when I was a younger person, I was just a real mover and a shaker. It just worked well. But now it's different. So I have to really be careful around Kentucky Derby time, or I could really blow up my iPad with all the horse betting sites. Well, actually, I just have two horse racing sites that I participate in. Twin Spires. Although I'm not enjoying them as much, they've kind of made their website kind of boring. In fact, they really don't even have a website anymore. They used to have a really cool like a home page that I did enjoy. Now it's hard for me to find like the home page. They just automatically take you to the mobile site, which is like an app, which is so boring. So I think I need to call them and see like how do you get right to the web page, because that's more fun. And if they don't, if all they have is the app, that's totally boring. I just might get out of that Inspires altogether. But anyway, what was I going to tell you? The fun. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you about. I have to really be careful. My obsessive compulsive. Like today's May 6th, Kentucky Derby night. So I will probably have a better video if I talk about the Kentucky Derby results and the events of the Kentucky Derby day. If I talk about it tomorrow, because sometimes I realize when I am so passionate and caught up in something right now, doesn't make for an enjoyable ASMR video because too much of my emotion comes out. So we're going to save my Kentucky Derby rambling for another time. Because I can feel I get too overworked and it's not fun to be relaxed with. Okay, so, but one bit of good news, this was really fun. If you guys enjoy stories, I don't get on there every day like I used to. There was a time when I first started wagering, betting online. It was back in, I cannot recall the year. It may have been 2007, somewhere around there. Do you remember that horse, Smarty Jones? Or Smarty, I keep calling him Smarty Pants, but he wasn't Smarty Pants, he was Smarty Jones, I believe. Well, that story of that horse gripped me so much that all my horse passions rose back up in me that I had forgotten about since the early, I guess, 1980s. It seems like once I got married and started our family in the mid-80s, I pretty much left all my horseback riding passion and all that stuff. Kind of left that on the back burner for a long while as we raised a family and married and just lived in a different town. We lived in horses like horse country and Simi Valley. And so even when we would go home to visit my parents, there may have been one or two times when we got the horse out and put my kids on the horse and let them ride around in the arena on the horse. But neither one of them was like an adamant, passionate horse kid like I was. So never really became an issue. And anyways, I got really good at betting online because you could bet this other website that I'm on, tvg.com. They also have a very cool line to lose a ton of money if you lose. But what that did for me is it really gave me a self-learned education about how to navigate through all the races and really get a good feel how to bet, what kind of bet. And I really love TVG. That's like my go-to horse betting app or website. But here's a little secret. I am not a professional horse betting person by no means. So hopefully I'm not talking to any horse betting professionals or my rambling will be very, very boring. But if you guys are just lay people like myself, I'll give you some little things I learned. And it's just like anything. You work with it, you work with it, you work with it. And then over a period of time, for me it's usually a long length of time, you just learn things and you figure things out. Well, comes to find out, everybody goes gaga over the Kentucky Derby. And the stakes are high because you get a ton of interest. Okay, we'll just use the Kentucky Derby as an example. If you're just like betting during the week on like, there's horse tracks all everywhere. And you can be here in Southern California and you can be betting on these little horse races going on in Ireland, in Europe, you name it. And they have every single horse race that's going on at that moment anywhere in the world. And you can bet on it. And you can even plug in and you can watch the race live. It is such a cool, fun experience for me. I can't even believe it. So, and this was probably a no-brainer, but I never figured it right away. But the bigger the pot is on a race, the bigger your little measly bet will be. I never added that into my calculations. I just always looked at the odds. So for the sake of discussion, let's just use the Kentucky Derby. Okay. Suppose you're doing just your $2 bet. You want such and such to win for $2. Okay. So you look at the odds. Say the odds are 3 to 1, 4 to 1. I'm not good at math at all, so I would always have to go to the horse betting calculator. And figure out the odds. And figure out how much, if I win, how much am I going to win for my $2 bet. But I was forgetting the other part of the equation, which is the bigger the stakes, like the bigger the pot, that multiplies your winnings. And I don't know how it works because, again, I'm not good at math. I'm not good at calculating. I just know not to get excited if I'm betting on like a little piddly race and I'm betting like 50 cents or 10 cents. And if the stakes, if the grand prize, like the whole value of the race is like, I don't know, maybe 200,000. Who knows what you're going to get from TD, but it's not even that exciting. And even, I must admit, I did a ton of that kind of betting as I was new to betting horse races and kind of educating myself. I don't do that as much anymore. So anyways, so I know the Kentucky Derby is always at least like a couple $1 million jackpot. But then as it gets closer to race time, oh my goodness, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So your measly little $2 horse bet, and depending on the odds, will mean one level of winnings. But then because the grand pot is so big, it's a bigger winning. So, alright, so I learned that. And here's the other thing I don't understand. The Belmont Stakes that are usually in the fall sometime, I don't know when exactly. They're like either September or October. The Belmont, excuse me, not the Belmont. That's not the Breeders' Cup. I'm sorry, Belmont is the horse track thing. Breeders' Cup. That's usually, I believe, around September, October sometime. I don't know exactly when. Oh my goodness. Those stakes are way bigger than the Kentucky Derby. So here's the question. Why is it that Kentucky Derby is way more publicized and talked about in the Breeders' Cup. And so that's kind of like a question. And these are questions I've asked myself about, like when I realized something about me, like my addiction to horse racing and my love of horse racing and love of horse. Then after a while, I always take a moment and think, how did I get there? How did I get this way? And then I like to look at like my dad. I was born and raised in Texas, and he was just like a little cowboy. You know, he loved horses. He lived like on a big farm area. And my grandma was kind of like a farmer's wife. Then I like to look at that, and then I see, oh, you know, it just runs in the family. So that was on my dad's side. So I kind of figured that out, my love of horses. Then, that's just something I just recently realized as an adult. This like stuff all resurfaced in around approximately 2007 or 2008. I can't recall exactly when that horse Smarty Jones won. Because that was a real like rags to riches story. I'll tell you that in a second. So then on my mom's side of the family, I totally forgot about this. But when I remembered it, I thought, oh my goodness, may the force be with me, because I have these generational things, you know, all added together that make me the horse lover and horse better than I am. So on my mom's side of the family, I'll never forget this. These are good memories, you guys. My mom's father lived in Bell, California. You know, growing up, we lived in Little Simi Valley. So a trip to visit Grandma and Grandpa was really a trip. You really had to journey there. That was so fun. But my best memories, like, I think every single time we would go to visit Grandma and Grandpa, Grandpa would always be outside with his transistor radio, and my uncle would always come over, my Uncle Patsy. Oh my goodness. And he was a mechanic. He had an auto shop. He was a mechanic, auto mechanic. I would come over, and oh my goodness, I cannot believe I did it. I threw the coupons in the trash, and I kept the trash. Thank goodness I caught myself. They never listened to the news. They never listened to music. They always had the horse races on. So at a very young age, I remember hearing my grandpa and my uncle talk about, was his name Willie Shoemaker? The jockeys, talking about the jockeys, talking about the horses, and the familiar sound of the horse race, hearing the hustle and bustle of the horses, and they're off. And then you hear the announcer. I just grew up with that, and I didn't even realize I grew up with that. They were always talking about Hollywood Park, always talking about Santa Anita. They were either going to Hollywood Park, or they're at Hollywood Park, they're going to Santa Anita race, or they're at, I don't even think Hollywood Park is a racetrack anymore. It seems like to me, 3 or 4 years, they were talking about it on the news that was closing on, because I remember feeling like sad about it. Like that was, even though I had never been there, it was good memories. My grandpa used to always talk about Hollywood Park, Hollywood Park. So, anyways, they were the ones who would bet, and they were really good. And was just recently, I didn't know this, but my mom, who is a closet horse betting aficionado, I'm putting all the pieces together. She starts telling me about how her dad and her uncle, how good they were at betting, and how they would bet back in the day, how they bet. And this all came to surface the year that Smarty Jones won the Kentucky Derby. So she's telling me she knows all this stuff about win, place, and show, and you bet on win, place, and show. They used to have bookies, and Grandpa's bookie would call him and they place a bet, and I couldn't fathom it. Like they didn't have internet back then. This was in the 60s, early 70s. They didn't have internet, so I would question her and say, well, how could they be sitting at home listening to the radio and getting ready to bet? And my mom would say, well, they had bookies, and you had to have a good relationship with your bookie, and then depending on how much your bookie trusts you and you trust the bookie, all this stuff. It was kind of like this underground relationship thing that she was telling me. And then you would call them up, and you would already have your picks for the race. And she said, oh, and Grandpa, they didn't just go by the horse. They went by their jockeys. Then that was another angle of horse racing that I picked up on. Now notice, I never paid attention to the horse stats. I never paid any attention to that. Brisnet, oh my gosh, I love Brisnet. That's one good thing about TwinSpires. If you're a member of TwinSpires horse betting, you also get these little free Brisnet insider sheets. I kind of give you like an outline that if you're the savvy horse bettor, you can figure it out. And I'm telling you, that kind of takes the fun away from it for me. My biggest win from placing a horse bet was really my very first wager online. Well, I was afraid to do it online, so I actually went down to the satellite horse race satellite office down at the county fairgrounds and placed my bet in person, because I was leery of how does that happen online. And I won $900, and the way I came up with how I was going to bet it was the year after Smarty Jones. Somebody help me out here and do the math. As best as I can recall, it was the year after Smarty Jones had won his race. So I believe this was in 2009. Excuse me, maybe it was 2010, possibly, maybe even 2011. I think I've got my years really mixed up. But, oh my gosh, the name of the jockey who won with Smarty Jones, and the odds were like so outrageous, and that's why it was a good win. But I saw him. My mom had shared with me that my grandpa and uncle used to bet on jockeys also, and I saw this jockey who had won with Smarty Jones. My goodness, I cannot think of his name now. Oh my goodness. Well, in this particular Kentucky Derby race, he was in that race, and he was on the inside lane, again, the lane right by the bar, the inside bar. I'm almost positive. And those were the two little clues that popped out to me that why I was going to bet that. And the odds on that horse was not that great. I did not care. I bet $100 on that horse, and I won $900 off of that bet. And I was a little nervous at the time. My husband had been sick and he hadn't been working. So that's not the time that you should be betting $100 on a horse race. But everything turned out okay. I know it was just like a temporary little work setback. But we still had other income and stuff. So in my mind, I didn't want to think to myself, oh, I shouldn't do this. And I did it. And I didn't tell anybody until after I won. Then nobody in the family, like my sisters, my mom, nobody would believe really that I won because they knew the situation and they could not believe that I really did that. So more than likely, had I have lost that $100, I would have never said a word. But when I won, I'll never forget. My sister had come over, and we have this tradition since the year after Smarty Jones won. A Kentucky Derby is so much fun for our whole family. The tradition is we gather at somebody's house. It's usually my house or my sister's house. I'm in charge of the hats. I have so many hats, you guys. So I bring all these hats, and I bring as many silk flowers or real flowers as I can. So we arrive at the Kentucky Derby party. Like this year, it was my sister's. We get our hats ready, and the hostess of the party is in charge of the mint juleps. And it's total fun. This year, now tell me if I'm remembering this correctly. Channel 4, NBC Channel 4, it does the coverage for the horse race. Now, this year, they started their coverage locally here in SoCal 11:30, and it went all the way till 4. So 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, because the race was around 3:30ish, and it was over at 4. Am I remembering this correctly? I do not ever remember them starting the Derby fun so early. I thought they used to start it like around 2 o'clock. But so this is my thought. Are they, those few hours now beforehand, are they trying to give like a last minute insight to like everybody? Of course, if you're already a horse person, you're already going to be betting and you're already going to know the stuff, and you don't need this 4-hour pre-show stuff on Channel 4. I think they're just trying to invite everybody into the horse betting arena, familiarize with all the horses and all that. But honestly, I really love it. On Kentucky Derby Day, I really do love that you can go to a regular channel and have all this fun Kentucky Derby stuff on a regular channel, even with regular commercials, because I must admit, it's just like the Super Bowl. Well, normally commercials really bother me, but on Super Bowl night and Kentucky Derby Day, oh my goodness, I want everything. I want the show and I want the commercials. So anyways, somebody let me know, is this the first year they've done this extended coverage? Because I really like it. I don't remember that they've done it, that they did it last year or the years before. See how, can you tell how the tone of this video has changed? I get so excited. It almost becomes hard to relax because I get, excuse me, my voice gets all excited, and I think my throat starts clogging up, and I talk faster, louder. Sometimes that might not be relaxing. But anyways, what was I saying? So I am in charge of the hats and the flowers. And I try to understand the science between how you bet a horse. And you look at all this stuff and you can come up with a winning horse for each race. And there's so many things. I am telling you, there are so many things that can ruin your bet. The weather, the condition of the track. Did it rain that morning? Did it rain the day before? Is it cloudy and overcast? No. There may be thunder roaring and the clouds is going to spook out. There are so many things that when I think what the odds are for your horse to win, really, I think the odds should be much greater. Anything can happen. Anything. There could be a clap of thunder, spook your horse in the middle of the race for a split second. Who knows? One horse can trip and fall. But just as much as like that sends the odds skyrocketing, like twirling, and you think, how can you ever really win? There's so many things that can happen. That also adds to the excitement of it. Even though the race is so fast, when the race is coming to that last little turn, oh my goodness. And you really begin to believe that, oh my goodness, we've overcome all the terrible odds up until now. I'm going to win. It's so exciting. I'm getting goosebumps all over my body just talking about it. That's how exciting it is for me. So for those of you who may be confused and you think what's the big deal? God, you guys get all excited for just this 2-minute race. If it's even 2 minutes, I remember. I think is it 1.25 miles? I can't even remember. It's a dirt track, I know that. That's another thing that plays into the odds. Is it a dirt track or grass? Turf. Okay, so what was I going to say? So my mom shared with me how my grandpa and my uncle would also bet according to jockeys. So that's how I kind of was a little bit more learned. So when I had my first bet, I knew to vote the jockey, and just kind of not think of something else, just look at it, and I won $900. Okay, but since then you actually go right to the fairgrounds, the satellite wagering office, and you pick up your money there. So then after that, I pretty much gradually got into just betting online, which is pretty cool. And guess what happened this year, you guys? This was the best excitement of all. since last year, Kentucky Derby Day. I didn't get, I held my own during Breeders' Cup, didn't bet. So I get into my account a year later, and I totally forgot I have like a cash balance of 100. It was like almost $102. If you don't think that was like the best early Christmas gift ever. I never leave money in my horse betting accounts ever. Ever. So I don't know what happened, how it happened. So there was $101. Oh, that was kind of fun. So, in too many years, I really went like completely panic Pete, because if you don't have like all your stuff organized way before race day on the Kentucky Derby, there are so many people that flock to the website that it does kind of get a little sluggish sometimes. It's like overloaded. That I've been caught too many times trying to deposit money the day of the race. Don't ever do that. Oh my goodness, because sometimes if it's a new, I think if you're depositing through a checking account, like it doesn't go in right away. If it's a new account number, it doesn't go in right away. And especially if you're a new person with a brand new account, your deposit might not get credited right away. Especially if you're a brand new person starting up on the horse betting site. Don't try to sign up and do it all like within a day or two of the race, or the day of the race. I don't know. I do not know how that would work unless you have an actual charge card and they can verify and validate the credit on the card immediately. I'm not sure. Honestly, I would never do that. And sometimes it's even a little nerve-wracking to bet, like right before the race, which traditionally kind of is the smart thing to do, because you can have all your ducks in a row, and then minutes before the race, there's an announcement. The jockey has come down with malaria, or the jockey sprained his ankle. Who knows? There are so many things that pop up at the last second, or thunderclouds have now just arrived over the racetrack. So you kind of just don't wake up early in the morning and place all your bets. I've learned that. That's just stuff you learn as like a lay person, and you know nothing about horse racing other than the beauty of the horses, the love of the race, the excitement, the beauty of the hats. I love it when they showcase, like the week of getting ready for Kentucky Derby. If you have a cable channel, I really used to enjoy TVG. We had that cable channel. But there's also HRTV, Horse Racing TV. Those are the two we had. Oh my goodness, they would showcase, especially the day of the race, the hats. If you get a chance, go right to the Kentucky Derby website. And there's a section on there about party and planning, or whatever. And if you go to that section, they have the best recipe for the mint julep. And hot tip, FYI, you can also make a recipe for a non-alcoholic mint julep. using you can substitute for the bourbon, substitute lemonade, you can substitute ginger ale and or lemon lime soda. But in all honesty, there's a million mint julep recipes out there. I must say, I've tried a handful of them from year to year. The best one still is the one right from the website. Not only is it the best recipe, it's the easiest, in my opinion. And they have a special Kentucky Derby glass or mug or sign that they drink it out of. But any tumbler will do. And then it's just fun. You can go to the Dollar Tree and buy matching tumblers. Like say there's going to be 10 or 12, like there were 10 people at our Kentucky Derby, but 10 or 12, get matching tumblers, get straws, matching straws if you can get all the same color. And then it's kind of fun. And then I always bring a little green food coloring and put a teeny, teeny, tiny little drop to give the drink a little teeny, tiny hint of green to the liquid, although you don't need it. You don't need it. I seem to always want to do that, just add a little green tint. I hear some rumbling. 1 second. Kentucky Derby. I'll probably tomorrow talk about all the excitement of the actual after party of after the race results were announced. After the race was run, because I just get too. I have to let all my excitement or my emotion, I guess it's my emotion, like calm down a little. Or it wouldn't be that fun of a video. It would be relaxing. I get too hyped up today to still talk about the day. I'm doing good with my coupons. And there's coupons in here. I never got to these coupons. I might do. I think. Do you guys get these little mailers? These little mailers, like 5x7 mailers in the mail. A lot of them to me are just trash. But it's like, to me, they don't even really seem like they're coupons. They just kind of seem like they're an ad, and that's just like the regular price of an item. Now this one I like. I like buy one get one free from TGI Fridays. But see, the bad part is it's not at every Friday. You have to go to the one special one at that address. They have what? They have steak and lobster at TG Fridays? That'd be fun. I might keep that separate. I'm not crazy about the ad, but they mentioned steak and lobster. That might be fun. Now here, like this is a lame one. Like a Greek deli. You get a free medium soda with their regular purchase of their deli sandwich. And if I recall properly, their delis are, they're not cheap by no means. So I always question these ads in the mail, this little mailer. I don't know. They're just like little. I don't know what they are. They're just like little sneaky things to get you to go there. Master bedroom. I guess this is just bedroom I might save that one. Plumber. Oh, I'm nervous about having strange people. No, I'm not going to do that one. Ice. What? The ice bar. Never heard of it. Proudly serving McConnell's ice cream. Oh my goodness. Have you guys ever had McConnell's ice cream? In fact, McConnell's ice cream, it's out of Santa Barbara, California. Oh my goodness. Delicious indeed. Very pricey indeed. State Street, Santa Barbara. Oh my goodness. When I lived there, I used to live McConnell's ice cream. That's terrible. But they're saying that they sell McConnell's ice cream there, and this is a little place in Simi Valley. That is too funny. That is too funny. Hawaiian shaved ice, root beer floats, the Ice Bar Cafe. Sugar-free flavors, gluten-free, available. All the and they also have like a coffee bar. I'm saving that one. See, I found two of them. I don't think the ad is that great, but the place sounds pretty cool. I wouldn't mind going there just to go there and check them out. But I can tell you, if they're serving McConnell's ice cream, I don't know how they're doing that. Unless McConnell's, they're driving from, unless they're driving their ice cream from Santa Barbara down to Simi Valley each day. I don't know how they're doing that. Unless they make their ice cream and sell it, like Baskin Robbins does. Oh my goodness, well this has been fun, you guys. I hear rambling. Oh my goodness. Just a minute. anyway, I'll probably be settled down by tomorrow, and I can actually talk about them. Actually talk about race results. Well, Kentucky Derby. Well, remember, if you found this calm and relaxing video and you helped you fall asleep easier, don't forget to pass it on and share it with family, friends, or loved ones. I appreciate all you guys. Thanks so much for watching and being part of my YouTube channel with me. I really enjoy you guys. Okay, well. Look at that. Alright. For watching.